Warning, high winds approaching, water level rising, temperature increasing, voltage overloading.
Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and the guy that won't leave Scott McNeil alone. You have been warned. This is Random Review.
Before we begin, thank you very much to For the Honor of Grayskull for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you for letting me shout that. I don't get to shout that often. Also, now I kind of want to go back and watch the Netflix She-Ra, so thanks for putting that worm back in my brain. Thank you very much for the contribution. They pitched in at the highest level, which means they do get a requested video. It is in the queue, and it's a fun one. It's a fun one. I want to get to that one. But we have pressing matters here, which is we need to do a little bit more random in Random Review, which is what you're going to be getting, because I'm going to be out of town for the weekend, meaning that you're going to get some random reviews to make up for while I am here, or there, rather. And we're going to kick it off with a line out of South Korea, which we have touched on very rarely here on the channel, but we're going to give one a good look today. This is Shadow X from Metal Cardbot. Shadow X might be the edgiest edgelord name I have ever heard in my life. The Sonic fanboys rushing to get that name back in the days of AOL Messenger. I can only imagine. So Shadow X here, appropriately for his title, is a very edgy vehicle. He is a Osprey, which looks really, really cool. It's in this lovely deep shade of purple, which currently, because I'm stuck using a webcam until I can get my camcorder fixed or replaced, does not come through, unfortunately. I will do my best to color correct in post, so if the background looks like saturated or orange, you'll know why. I want that purple to show, because it's a nice purple. Through that, you can see a lot of silver has been painted. There's a little bit of molded gray plastic there on the top and connecting to the motors on the wings. But you can see some painted silver in there too, along on the thighs as well as on the tail rotors. And that silver goes through the midsection as well, leading to the front, giving it this awesome shark aesthetic. It's not enough. His name is Shadow X. It's not enough that he's an osprey. He has to go for a shark motif as well. He is literally trying to be every cool screen name in the book at the same time. And if you've never seen this guy in robot mode, oh boy, he's going for like a trifecta, quadfecta, whatever he's up to. He's going for it. It is a very cool mode, and I do like how the shark itself is done. You can see the red inside for the teeth to pop out and give it the look of a mouth. You can see a little bit of translucent blue for the canopy, and then the metallic pale blue inside to make the eyes pop really, really nicely. There's a little bit of paint mismatch there on the canopy because, you know, it's dark blue. It's a little bit hard to get the colors correct, but it does give it this interesting look. I'm not going to take away from it. The yellow on the blades gives, makes those pop a little bit. Now, the one disappointment I have with the vehicle mode, well, I have two, but we'll get that one later. The one disappointment I have is that the rotors are not free spinning. They're just pegged in on normal 5mm ports. So unfortunately, they can't really spin the way I would like them to. That's okay. They also can't rotate the way I would like. You can rotate them in the midpoint of the wing, but you can't rotate just the engines, which is what I'd like to do play-wise. But beyond that, yeah, you're just looking at kind of a cool purple Osprey toy. I will admit, it does get a little bit broken up. So Metal Cardbot is a little bit more simple as far as a transforming toy goes. This is kind of a kids-oriented line, so don't expect high articulation level and don't expect some extremely clean vehicle modes. You can see the robot heads just kind of right there. So what you do get is something that is like vaguely Voyager-sized, for these days. And then you just get this like nice solid bot that kind of transforms like an old school like 2000s transformer, where it's not a bunch of panels and flaps, it's just solid parts moving into the shape of a robot. Just to get out of the way, yeah, just a little bit more highlight of detail, black across the top, more silver here at the front, and a bit of gold here on the tail fins, just to spread out the color palette just a little bit further. So with all that said, the vehicle mode is cool. We can get into the robot mode, however. For that, I'm going to go ahead and fold the tail fins down. We're going to ratchet out the legs. Listen to that nice ratchet. That's a nice ratchet. You don't hear that as much anymore. I'm going to unpeg those and completely straighten them out. And rotate everything down like so. The back section here, well, the front section will become the back section when you open it up like that. Again, he's going for that shark thing, or even during his transformation, he looks like he's about to open up and bite something. We rotate around here and we can now see some of the lovely robot detail coming through. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this down. Give us our shoulders. These can fold up like so. Fold them into fold them into points or detach them like that. If you detach them like that, do so more gracefully than I, and do not be an embarrassment to video reviewers. Go ahead and give those elbows a bend just to make sure they are clear, and then flip up the ninja head. And that's how you transform your Shadow X. So again, it's not enough that he's going for the osprey, the shark, the dark purple color palette and the name. We are also throwing ninja in here as well. We're just going for everything at this point. But no, he is looking really, really cool. Obviously, there is some kibble left over. This kibble we'll be using, so don't worry about that. But yeah, there's the backpack, but honestly, I will prefer this over just like a bunch of panels that have been folded up into a plastic lasagna onto his back. This is at least solid. This is at least not going anywhere. It doesn't need a bunch of tabs to stay in place. So I will take it for what it is. Proportionally, we come out pretty good here. Like, for someone who's trying to convey ninja, he's definitely pulling it off pretty well. We've got the right detail designs here, with a headband at the top, with a crest in the front. We've got the mask face as well. Very classic Transformer look. A lot more silver and black, and even a little bit more gold now invading here in the chest design, and I'm really a fan of like how that looks. I like the overall design of it. The gray is now a little bit more balanced here. Some running down the thigh, and then it takes up the forearms, but it's not an overwhelming color. It's just there to break up the purple a little bit. Even has a little bit more purple painted in. Black obviously taking a much bigger role in it now. The fists, the shins, the midsection. Yeah, it's a really nice color balance. Like, the purple is definitely the key player here, but there's so much else going on, but none of it is clashing. You have like hits of gold here in the shoulder intakes, and that's perfectly fine because it's gold and gold and purple's always going to look good. And then, yeah, like he retains a lot of the silver and the gray, which breaks everything up very well. I do really like the color palette on this guy. Now, if we want to talk articulation, what kind of action figure you get out of him, you do have a ball joint in the head, so he does have full rotation as well as some tilting all around. Shoulder-wise, you do get a bit of a ratchet joint here, but it's really just stiff, and then a ratchet outward for universal motion. You have a bicep rotation as well as an elbow bend that hits 90 degrees. Nice, neat. Like to see that. Nothing in the waist. But you do get universal hips that are ratcheted in both directions. You get a knee that doesn't go to 90, but it is a soft ratchet, so it stays in place pretty well. And then nothing toward the ankle. So remember when I said like this feels like a bot from the mid-2000s. It pretty much follows that same level of articulation and the whole solid feel to it. Like I said, there's a lot of ratchet joints on this figure for the sake of just being really, really solid, which is kind of countering the part of like high articulation. So you know what? I will accept for what it is. It's meant for a kid, so I can't really argue it. Now, if we want a little bit of playability here, the Osprey blades can fold down, and now we can open those up. So these become wrist or gauntlet mounted weapons, which again, it's a ninja. Shuriken stuff, right? Well, it's not the only shuriken thing he does. So, if you've never seen Metal Cardbot, the whole point of the toy line are these. Yes, this is supposed to be a card, even though it's the size of a mini book. So every Metal Cardbot comes with one of these, and the front plate is the card gimmick. So that's just kind of like a spare piece. You can't really do anything with it except just like, ooh, look at how pretty the artwork and design is. That's all you can really do. What you really want is this big plastic block of clear plastic. And yeah, it's clear plastic, but I also haven't seen any of these fail yet, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, say they're using some better stuff than Hasbro uses. And here we go. We unfold. Hey, if I can find, there we go. Sometimes it's hard to tell where the separations are through all the translucent. And then we just rotate out, and now we have what every anime fan loves, a ninja with an absolutely massive shuriken. So this enormous piece of plastic does have a handle that folds out. So we can either stick that in his hand, or it can replace one of the blades on his forearms, giving him an incredibly huge weapon to go. I don't know. What are we slaying with this? What are we slaying with this? Demons, yokai, other random robots. Take your pick. Take your pick. But point being, it is a cool thematic weapon. And this is the whole idea. Like, every Metal Cardbot toy comes with some absolutely gigantic weapon that unfolds from the card. And honestly, I think this is one of the better ones. I think one of the things that I like so much about these toys is they all have the same uniform, like, card shape, for lack of a better term. But it all unfolds into something completely different for every figure, which I kind of like when you can take one basic shape and get a whole bunch of things out of it. And the shuriken itself is actually really cool. Look at how much gold is in this one. Like, the gold is an accent on the other one. Here it's this, it's the secondary color, which is great. Gets more of the shuriken aspect of it across. A little bit of black too as a tertiary color. Looks really, really cool. Yeah, man, this toy is going for every edgelord anime thing he can. This is a guy who spends all day on Crunchyroll taking notes for his cosplays. But you know what? I kind of love him for it. He's trying very, very hard to be cool. But he's pulling it off to a degree. He's pulling it off to a degree. I didn't even mention the missile batteries in his shoulders. Like, that's how cool he is. He doesn't need those. Everything else is perfectly cool by itself. So that, my friends, is Shadow X, and a look at Metal Cardbot as a toy line and an alternative to Transformers. I'm not marking this as another Transformers alternative. We'll get to that in a bit. Maybe when I get one of the larger Cardbots someday. But for now, this is just a look at something else you could be buying that changes into a robot. So, thank you for watching. Hope your curiosity is sated. If you're wondering where to get these, the only places I know are like online auction sites like eBay and Mercari sometimes. I don't really know like an actual retailer that's carrying South Korean transforming robots right now. I'm sure someone in the comments section might know. But for me, that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.